Hey guys, Mike Healy here, and I am so excited to go over this with you guys. This is APL Go the next Xango, and I have my favorite guest speaker on here, Mr. Kauri Thompson. I got to point you to the right direction there. This is going to be fun. Kauri and I have been talking about this for a while. So Kauri and I knew each other back in Xango days. That's actually where we met for the first time. This was what, 15, 16 years ago, I think, and we've been friends ever since, and we've done different things, and Kauri's worked different programs, and we finally came together. And I really believe, and that's why I wanted to do this interview with Kauri, that we have found what I believe is the next Xango, and we're gonna compliment Xango the whole way through this. So Kauri, thanks for jumping on here, man.
Yeah, it's good to be with you, Mike. As you said, we got in Xango way back when, and what a beautiful company. And I love your topic because I'm super excited to speak to it today.
Yeah, perfect. So, okay. So in case people don't know, but most people that are probably going to watch this video, because it stands out with the title, is Xango started in, I think it was like 2003, 2004, correct?
2002.
2002. Okay. So they had a category creating product, which is kind of unique. What that means is they brought something to the market that really hadn't been done before. They became $1 billion company. There was a lot of us that made a lot of money with this thing. Both you and I made over 7 figures in the company. And it was a great culture, great community. And we really haven't found, and most of the people that we've talked to that have been in Xango before, we have not found anything comparable necessarily. I mean, there's a lot of us that cut our teeth in the company and really, really kind of launched our careers. But haven't found a home like we think we have found here with APL Go. And I think this is good. So Kauri, you were actually if I remember the story correctly, you were the very first people to ever get a bottle of the juice, right?
Yeah, we got the first case. That was back in, I think, November of 2002. Jenny and I had been looking, and from there, like you said, Mike, it rose to this incredible level. And one thing I want to add to what you're saying is there's been a long drought for a lot of people like myself, because once you're in a company like Xango, the culture there was phenomenal. As you mentioned, category creating product. The comp plan at the time was cutting edge. Once you've been in that kind of a company, you get really spoiled. And I want to throw this in. I had a chance to talk with Aaron Garrity back at the office about 6 years ago or so. And as I was talking about what I'd been doing since Xango, he looked right at me and he said, "Face it, Kauri, Xango's the best company you were ever a part of." And a part of me wanted to say no, but I couldn't. It actually was because the culture was so phenomenal. And so I'm not ashamed to say it has been the best company to this point. I've been looking for a company like that for so many years, and I think a lot of us have been. So I'm really excited again to be talking with you today.
Yeah. So let's get this straight. We're going straight into this because I don't sugarcoat anything or waste any time. Is you contacted me. So I've obviously done multiple companies since then. You've done a handful. You've been actually on a corporate level even more than I have with international launch and stuff like that. So it's really cool that you've got all this experience. But again, like you and I've always kept in touch. And I remember you called me about this new company. You had basically, and this happened to be probably 7 or 8 months ago, I believe. And you said, "Hey, there's this new company coming. They got this cutting edge product with these lozenges." And I pretty much blew you off because I was already primarily working something and doing very well with it and stuff like that. But then you called me a couple months later and you said, "Hey, I paid off my cars. I paid off my house. I paid off all my credit card debt." And I'm like, okay. You've been in this thing only a few months and that's happening. And then you explained it and I gave you the benefit of the doubt, obviously knowing each other, right? And I said, "I'll give you an hour." And you showed me what this company had and it just kind of went bang. And I basically came out and said, "This reminds me of what happened when I first looked at Xango back in the day, I think I joined in 2004-ish or something like that." And I was like, holy smokes. If this even comes close to what we experienced then, because I paid cash for a Hummer, back in the day. And I was 6 months, before I even gotten into Xango, I had quit networking and I was broke. Like I was personal training. I had to borrow money from my boss, like a couple weeks before that. And then somebody had shown the Xango to me. So Tell me why, when we talked, what was something appealing to you that you thought with this, and start with the product, because most every big company, you have to have a product that is legit. I mean, if you want to show them and pull them out or whatever, you're welcome to do that, but go ahead and jump on that.
Yeah. So what you said, Mike, is absolutely true. It comes down to the product line. That is the most important thing. Even with the comp plan, your comp plan is powered by products. If the product's great, the comp plan is going to pass what I call the 18-month test. It's going to keep climbing. When I saw this product line, I didn't know what to think. Having been in the industry since Xango and having worked in multiple capacities in corporate and also taking products to market myself through different companies, when I saw the anion DNA drops, I just stared at it. I was like, what the heck is this? It's a delivery system. Think of a hard candy that's embedded with all these botanicals with negatively charged ions, okay? I had to wrap my head around it because it doesn't exist in the marketplace. So I took a look at it. I actually asked for some product samples, got them in, and I'm telling you, I was worried when I tasted them, Mike, because they tasted really good. And, you know, Xango, to me, the reason why Xango succeeded was because their main competition was KM juice and noni, Tahitian noni. If you've ever tasted any of those things, you want to run the other way. So here come these anion DNA drops or lozenges, all this science behind them. I pop it in my mouth. It tastes amazing. And the results on some of the products are within hours. So I knew that we had a category creator. I know what a category creator can do. Once they hit the market, people start talking about them. They want to try it first to market. We saw that with Xango. So the comparison with Xango is, here's a juice that actually tastes good. It's a new science with mangosteen. Here's a drop that you can stick in your mouth. You can carry it in your pocket, 30 in a box. The box lasts for a month. I just saw this incredible amount of traction globally for a lot of different reasons, including price point. And I'm excited to talk about that as well. So product, price point, I mean, the versatility of the product. You have these drops. There's actually 15 of them, 15 different recipes to handle 15 different types of situations, from breathing to heart health to immune system to stopping pain, to help you relax at night, one for energy. The versatility of this product line is amazing.
So that was something, obviously, because of going back to the story. I mean, literally all we did back in that day in Xango days was just tell a simple story. You know, this is what this botanical is. It was just that from that mangosteen fruit, and then here's what it supposedly can do for you, help and everything. And then the testimonies came out. So what I think obviously the other reason that you got my attention was that this wasn't somebody just started this product, you know, last week kind of thing. This company, APL Go, has actually been selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of this product for the last 9 years, from Russia and parts of Europe. And they're now just coming to the United States. Okay. So that's a huge thing, because because now this US market, and we've been open, I think I think you said the first person joined like in July, kind of a whisper launch, and now is getting involved. What do you think timing wise that you could compare this to with where we were with Xango versus, you know, what kind of people are seeing with APL Go?
Yeah, it's a great point that you're bringing up. So APL Go is, like you mentioned, it was an 8-year-old company when I got involved back in June and July of last year. So you have an 8-year-old company that's stable, that's never changed their compensation plan, and has grown to the point on this product line. So that got me excited. What ended up happening was the owner, who lives in Eastern Europe, said, I want to grow a large business. In order to do that, I need to go through the United States, meaning the Russian market, Eastern European market is strong. They do really well over there. But he has his eyes set on a global marketplace. He wants to go into all the markets. But to do that, you got to go through the US, because the US is known as a country that looks at their product lines to make sure they're good for you. Their banking's in place, all the things that the foreign markets like. That's why they love US companies. So here we have a 9-year-old company, stable, never changed comp plan, one owner, and I love to talk about the owner and kind of talk about the whole Xango experience and how it compares. But you have a brand new opportunity that's not new, but it's already tested, including the comp plan. So that to me is like, wow, we've got something amazing here that's brand new to market for us, and we have an amazing opportunity to go out and start getting into all these new markets, which we're doing right now.
Right. And that's exciting because it's so cool because we have, instead of rookie experience from back in the day, we actually have professional experience in understanding how to launch these international markets, the tools that they have, the products, you know, what has to be done in each company or country to be open. And like you said, they haven't changed the comp plan. I mean, I think it took me almost a year income wise to reach what I did in like the first 30 days in this thing. And I really didn't do anything significant. All I did was just talk to a few people and said, hey, you know, they know I work out and things like that, and said, hey, I found this really cool product. They're these lozenges. Take a taste of these things. And like you said, they're absolutely delicious. I mean, I just am amazed at how good this product is. I actually just did a video I'm getting ready to post on my YouTube channel about you know, how I use each product, that kind of thing. So let's talk about culture here, kind of community and culture. Okay, because obviously everybody that's maybe taking a look at this is new. That was one of the big driving forces of what we had from the ownership and everybody that was in charge over in Xango, how well they did in creating that great culture and taking care of their people. What have you seen so far in just a short 6 months that you've been involved, or 7 months now, of what the company APL Go's done for their reps?
Well, first of all, the reason I think Xango did such a great job with culture is these guys understood the industry. They've been part of the industry as distributors. They'd assumed corporate positions, but they knew people. They knew how to grow it. They knew how important it was to do that. The thing that I like about APL Go is our founder built a $10,000 downline from Eastern Europe with an American company as a 17-year-old. He understands how to build a business, and he put a lot of work into doing it, and he's quite good at doing it. So when you have people that actually like people, so let me quantify this. I've been corporate since Xango. I've been corporate with 4 different companies, right? I've traveled the world. I've done a lot of things like you have. And I do want to say this to Xango people who might be watching today. Xango put out an inordinate amount of talent into the space of network marketing. So if you look at the amount of leaders that have come out of Xango that have come on to own their own, started their own companies, been top level executives, there is an inordinate large amount of them. And the reason I believe that happened is because Xango taught their employees how to create culture and how to do a business model that works. Now, yeah, everything wasn't perfect at Xango. We know that, but there were enough good things that a lot of talent came out of Xango producing master distributors for multiple companies. So they had a good culture that worked. They knew what they were doing. And with this company, the beautiful thing about it is the owner likes people. Now that might sound odd, but I've been with a bunch of companies as a corporate executive. I've been the president of a company, CMO, VP of sales, VP of marketing. I've basically done it all. And I will say, not all owners like companies, like their companies. Not all owners like people. And you can really see it in some of the companies and how the people are treated by the owner and the staff and the executive staff. We have an owner that loves people. And I can tell you, the first time I ever went to dinner with Sergey, I was amazed at his generosity. I mean, I don't know if I should mention this, but we went out 7 people and he spent 5 digits on dinner with 7 people. And I'm watching him do this and I'm thinking, he's spending a lot of money here. But I've come to know that with Sergey, he loves people and he takes care of his leaders and he wants them to have a lot of fun. Mike, I just got invited to his birthday party in Africa 2 months ago. He calls me and he goes, hey, I'm having a birthday party. We can't do it in Europe because of COVID. So I want you and Jenny to come. It's in Africa and come down and meet me there. So we were down there for 10 days, right? I mean, he does this every single year with his top leaders, but he's a lot of fun and it shows in what we do every day and it shows in the type of leaders that we're attracting.
That's perfect. And speaking of attracting, I think what's been really eye-opening and one of the reasons that I wanted to do this specific video was I feel like one of the Blues Brothers that said in that one comment they make during the movie, it says, we're getting the band back together. I've had a lot of people from that knew me back in Xango days that are either subscribed to my YouTube channel or my Facebook pages and have seen the stuff that I've done over the years, different things. and passed on them, but they're like, literally, they said the same stuff that you and I are covering right now, that they're seeing something unique. They've done a little due diligence. They've watched it. They understand, they're smart enough to understand timing, placement strategies, things like that we're already positioned for right now. And I believe that right now what we have is we have that unique first movers advantage with the what would you call that, security and confidence that the company's been around for a long time. I mean, I've never seen those two things in my career meet like that. It's kind of like the perfect worlds coming together and so on. So what are some other things that maybe I haven't asked you yet that you are excited about? I mean, because if we're talking to people that obviously see this from a Xango perspective, what would you say to them right now?
Well, let's lay this out, Mike. You and I were both and our wives 200K premieres in Xango. Let's just throw that out. I was a Sweet 16 member too, meaning we were one of the first established 16 premieres in the company. So from that standpoint, we'd seen Xango from the early beginning all the way to the mid until they actually sold over to their other company. So we've seen it all with that. I would say that with APL Go, I finally feel like after, 16 years, something like that, I finally feel like I'm coming home to something that I haven't felt in 16 years. And I will say this for those of you who might be watching. My belief is that if you tune into one of our Zooms, a 45-minute Zoom opportunity on APL Go, you will do what happened to me 3 months ago when I got a 500K premiere on. I got a 500K premiere on to watch it, and what her response was, "This is the best presentation I have ever seen. Send me more information." And I believe, look, we've all been in the industry for many, many years since Xango. A lot of us have still been looking. Go watch the APL Go overview. 45-minute overview that we do. I think you're going to see why we're so excited. To speak to some of those points, here's what really excites me. These boxes, okay, this is BTY. There's a bunch of ingredients. What the company basically does is they take these caramels, they're 1 gram of beet sugar, so it's a natural sugar. They heat this caramel and they infuse this caramel with about 19 botanicals, okay, to create this product. It's strawberry matte flavor, so when you suck on it, it's absolutely delicious. Goes through your mucosal membrane into your body almost instantly, right to your bloodstream. $25 wholesale for a 30-day supply. One of the things, and I'm going to be some comparison on Xango, so I hope people don't mind, but I'm a Xango guy. Look, I still have the bottle. Where's the bottle? Right there. Just so you guys know.
I've got that lava lamp too.
Do you? Okay, because I love the company. There's certain things I'll never let go. When I was in Xango, just like you, Mike, we traveled to different markets, and I'll talk about $100 auto ship, and I'd lose half the room. And what I realized, this is my first company cutting my teeth, is we're opening all these new markets to try to find the 2% that can afford our products. So when market's saturated, we go open another market. With a $25 wholesale cost for our, and look at the branding here, see how beautiful that is? Xango did one thing really well. They made the industry beautiful. And if you look at our packaging, what we do here, we do the same thing as well. So we have a $25 wholesale product that the global markets can afford, and they can replace a lot of different things they're already spending money on for any of our 15 drops that all do and perform something very unique. And I like that, because with a $25 price point, I can grow a global business and not worry about people quitting every single month because they can't afford to do it anymore. And you can tear and share. So if you go into markets like Malaysia, Philippines, you can actually tear 3 or 4 off and retail them in the street. And people will do this with this product. And that's why I believe from a global standpoint, we have some really strong legs.
I don't want to forget this, and it popped into my head, and I can't believe I didn't cover it already. But we were taught in Xango, okay, so the MO, like literally I told somebody this today. This was a conversation I was having with somebody, and it was literally about what I did in Xango to make the money that I did. And all I was doing was somebody gave me a CD to listen to. So I listened to a CD, and then I was basically inviting people to come over to my house every Tuesday for 4 years and watch a DVD. And then I drew on a dry erase board, right? And usually a lot of times what we've been taught to do is make phone call after phone call after phone call, which works. And I think it's important that you stick to those things. However, you know where I'm going with this. However, I learned probably 8 years ago about the internet not disappearing, that it wasn't going to be a fad, that social media wasn't going to be a fad, and texting is the way to go. And systems are, if you have good systems, like I use this phrase all the time in trainings, systems are the leverage by which you turn ordinary people into extraordinary performers. The problem is in most people that they've failed in network marketing is they think they always have to motivate people to create duplication. That's the buzzword is duplication, right? And what I noticed that is if you created good tools and systems and you give people results because they can get results using a simple system, the motivation then follows. So it's a completely different paradigm shift. Move over just a little bit. You're coming out of my screen a little bit there. There you go. It's one of those OCD things too, by the way. Go move that one box in your back. No, I'm kidding. Nope, go the other way. You're okay. But the system is this company launched the most incredible app. And I've done all kinds of high level marketing, but they launched the most simple to use texting app called Rapid Funnel that we can literally add somebody as a contact inside the app from your contacts on your phone, click send a resource, send them a video, send them a PDF, send them a link to sign up, send them an example of something, a 30-minute video, a 2-minute video, and then we get notified if the person does that. When did we ever have the ability to do that? See, that's what I was telling my guy today too, is I said, look, we made the money that we had because we had all the correct things lined up. We had the perfect product. We had a good timing. We had great culture. The marketing was spectacular. And we were attracting really good leaders that could speak the language. This thing has all of those, except we now have new school technologies and systems that can ramp this up 10 times faster. Like you and I doing this right now, this Facebook Live does that, right? Like it allows us to tell this story. You just said, I think something real important is I wasn't convinced until you said, just let me have me watch a presentation with you that you gave with me. And I was pretty skeptical. I was doing one of those kind of thing. But then the next day I said, okay, you got my attention. I'm going to bounce it off my expert in the house, my wife, Stacy, and got her on there. And she was like this, right? And she sat there like that the whole time. But by the end, she was like, wow, and started asking questions. And she loves the product. And that's what's cool is we've got the systems in place and so on. What have you seen so far with the systems and then the way things have kind of gelled together with the leadership, people putting stuff out there, the content?
Yeah, so to put this into perspective, we're still in whisper launch in the United States and beyond. So if you think about the Eastern market, that's established. It's 8-9 years old now. Outside of that, we're in whisper launch, which means there are hardly anybody in the US knows about this company. There's nobody in Asia that really knows about it, or all the other markets, South America and so on. So we have a huge opportunity. The Rapid Funnel app, as you said, Mike, is probably the greatest tool I have ever seen for the reasons that you stated. So if I'm listening to this, I'm like, okay, you guys got a great product. It looks interesting. You have a great delivery system, and now you have this Rapid Funnel app, which allows me to get out multiple exposures every single day to people all over. Look, everybody's got a list of people they've worked with before. I've got in my filing cabinet probably 5,000 or 6,000 names and email addresses, right? Those are assets. They're sitting there, and you can go and deploy them if you have meaningful technology. And I've always loved technology, but I only use it if you can deploy it in a meaningful way. To be able to sit at home from my phone and send out 10 presentations an hour and customize them, I can send somebody information about this particular product with its own PDF. I can send somebody a sizzle video. I can send somebody this presentation. We could actually record this, right? Load it into our player and send it out to people through Rapid Funnel. When you have a system plugging into an incredible product line with a great culture, a very strong company, I want to talk about that in just a little bit. You have a really huge opportunity that I really can't even quantify right now.
Right. So go ahead and talk about what you just said you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. So Here's the other things that really excite me about APL Go. We have an owner who is just turned 33 years old. I mean,
Wow.
think about that. The guy built a network marketing company himself. He loves people and he understands the industry. And what I love about Sergey is not just his personality, his kindness, but his drive. He has a drive that he wants to create a legacy company, and he's got the resources, the temperament, and he's got the focus to do so. So he's very determined to find the right leaders. When he approached me back in May of last year, May or June, he said, I want to grow a huge business, but I want good people to come in the business. I want a good leadership team. So far, we've been able to attract that because of who he is. One thing Sergey told me from the get-go, Mike, was I have the best comp plan in the industry. Now, when I hear that, I'm always like, okay, I hear that. And so show me your comp plan. When I took a look at it, I didn't really know what to think because I'm used to ranks. In companies, every company has a rank. And basically a rank is a mechanism that tells you how far you can reach and pull money out. How far down can your hands go to take money off the conveyor belt, right? So everybody knows what rank is, but he had this something called status. And status is an important part of the comp plan. And when I figured out how it worked, and I saw how the comp plan performed in my first 4 weeks, I was absolutely blown away with how much money we're bringing in. So here's what I will say to people who are skeptical about comp plans and companies saying they have the best comp plan. Number one, you should be skeptical because we hear this all the time. But I want to point you to businessforhome.org. Business for Home is a third-party organization. And what they do is they look at companies and they measure the amount of payout a company does along with its income. And they assign a percentage rate tied to that for the comp plan. So if you go to businessforhome.org, click on companies, you're going to find 500 companies, and I guarantee it, the company that you're currently with or was with is listed there. Go and look at their total payout for the comp plan. You'll see a percentage. Most of the companies are rated at 35% payout. Now, is that a true number? Probably not, because most companies don't publish their numbers. They would rather go with their marketing materials that say we pay out 50%, when in fact they pay out 35, 39, 40, 44%. APL Go pays out 63 cents on the dollar, which is way high and above anything I've ever seen. And my first 3 checks, I sat there and looked at the screen. I was amazed at how good they were. They were much higher than any other checks I've done for similar amounts of work in other companies that I've been with. So the payout plan is phenomenal. People are making great money here, and we have a product to power that comp plan that I know is going to create a lot of excitement in the future.
Hey, speaking of which, obviously one of the things that all of us have bought into from, my 23 years ago, starting networking, has been residual and repeat orders, right? And you'd mentioned this earlier about the price point. The one cool thing that I don't think we've mentioned this during this whole presentation is when somebody joins this thing, literally the auto ship is 40 PV, right? Like I'm like, that is so smart for a company to not try to kill the people that are just coming in to learn about the product. Do I like it? Does it taste good? Is it working for me? That kind of thing that allows them to stay in the business long enough because it's not breaking the bank every month. I mean, I remember we were encouraged to do like $200 a month auto ships and $100 a month membership plans where you got squat for doing it, right? And this thing, it's such an easy amount, and basically that would get you 2 different boxes of this stuff, of whichever whichever one that you wanted, and you're eligible for pretty much everything you need. And like you said about the comp plan and the status thing's the most unique thing I've seen in comp plans, and I've written comp plans before for companies, and it's one of the most unique things I've seen. So Kauri, let's we're actually about a 30-minute mark. I want to kind of wind this down because some people have an attention span. I have one about that long, as you probably know. So maybe some last bits. Okay. So here we are. I think personally, we have laid out a very compelling, almost story, testimony, case study of where we believe APL Go is on its way to go based on what we've seen in the past. our collective histories of what we know in the experience in the industry, the leadership that we've been involved with, the companies and so on. I think we're really poised for something big. Give us some closing remarks, and then we'll jump off, say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah, well, first of all, Mike, thanks for having me as your guest today. I will say this. I love Xango. I look at that experience as the best company I've ever been a part of until this company came around. Now, they weren't perfect, but they were really, really good. So for the first time in like 16 years, I'm actually excited in a really deep level about what we have. And I would encourage anybody looking, yeah, you can doubt. I mean, I get pitched on so many deals all the time. I'm going to encourage you to do one other thing. Go on to Mike's channel, take a look at the overview, look how everything falls in place. Mike, years ago, there was a study done globally, and what we determined was that the average household in the world could feed and clothe and send off to school their family for $500 a month. So if you build an economy around the global economy, meaning you build an auto ship, you build a pay plan, you build product pricing around that, you're going to actually have a global business. You're going to be able to go into these markets and not have people quit after 3 months, which is typical because companies don't understand. And quite frankly, back in Xango days, I didn't know all this either. We've grown up in the industry. So I would think that with your combined knowledge, my combined knowledge, and hopefully we've done a few good things that people that have been in Xango will say, you know what? These are two pretty good guys. They've always told the truth. They don't have enemies. I mean, we've done things right. I'm telling people, man, this is worth the 45 minutes to take a look at that overview, because if me and Mike are correct, there's a pot of gold there for you. And I told Mike when he came on, I said, Mike, I'm coming from your future. I'm telling you what's ahead of you in the next 6 months. If you come on this journey, wait and watch. And I remember saying to you, Mike, how's your check been the first month? And you told me, and you're like, wow, this is good. I'm like, yeah, I came from your future. So I want to tell everybody, you can doubt. We live in post-COVID. There are not a lot of great opportunities. There are very few good companies. They're hard to find. Spend the 45 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. Look at the overview that Mike has. Call us up with the hard questions. We've heard them all. And believe me, we're excited to hear from you.
That was awesome, man. Great close. That was fantastic. I'm going to shut my pie hole and just get to kind of close this out. But yeah, seriously, I mean, look at the videos. Get to do your own due diligence. That's what I did. I look at data. Like, you can't lie to me anymore because of being the marketing background I have. I look at website traffic. I look at comp plan stuff. I look at keyword data. I mean, I look at all kinds of stuff that most people don't know how to do from my marketing background. And that's what everything that all the boxes are basically checked. Everything that I would look for an opportunity. And, just truthfully speaking and realistically, this is like any other business. You have to make the hard decisions quick. Most of the big leaders that I've ever seen in the industry, they don't sit around and take 6 months to make decisions. They make quick decisions, they take massive action, and they get massive results. And that's really all you and I have done over the years. And I know that's what I've basically done is I know what works, what doesn't. I know what to look for, what systems, things like that. And we jump on board. But hey, we're having fun, Kauri. I think we're going to have some great stuff. Obviously, we've got Facebook groups put together. I got marketing trainings that I give to people that join my team. You do a fantastic job presenting. They have insider information because you're the one that's, because of your experience, ownership calls you and says, hey, what do we need to do in the US? So I have insider info because you're leaking it to me, right? Which is kind of cool, and so on. So man, thanks for being on here. This was awesome. And it's fun to reflect back because we did have a good time. I know we were able to do a lot of amazing things with the finances that came in just from that company alone, Xango. And, they were all great people there. I just wish everybody the best no matter what they're doing out there. But thanks, man. I appreciate you being on here.
All right. Hey, thanks, Mike. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Go watch our training video or our presentation videos. All right. See you guys.